I'm looking rough, but feeling good. Which is honestly pretty normal for me. Just put the baby down for a nap, and so we're gonna start sewing and crafting because it's the only time that I have to do that, and I miss it. My niece is having a baby and her shower is this Saturday. Today is Wednesday, and I have a whole bunch of things I want to like handcraft for her for the shower, and I've got to get going. I went yesterday and got a couple of supplies. They're still on the floor in front of me, which is fine because I'm just about to take them up into my sewing room. Let's get going on this. In this house we craft in pajamas. You are coming along with me on this sewing journey because even though it's not a big cosplay build or a big sewing project, this is the only time I have to be creative, and so I'm bringing you along with me because I might as well. Let's get going. All right, here's the plan. We've got a Minky style blanket that's going to be embroidered with the baby's name. And then I've got a car seat cover just made out of this like gauzy muslin stuff. I don't have it right here with me, but I'm gonna do a little onesie with the name on it and then a sweater with the name on it as well. And hopefully I can get all of that done today and tomorrow. We will see. It's kind of a bit of a tall order, but I'm feeling good. I didn't sleep very much last night, and that's the baby's fault. Kept waking up. He's a really good sleeper, just sometimes he just wakes up. Anyways, let's start here. I got this super cute fabric. I've got this for one side, this for the other side, and then I have the blanket binding to go around it, but they only had 2 of this and 2 of this, and I need 3 of either one of them to go all the way around. So I'm either gonna do like checkerboard around the outside to kind of match this checkerboard, or I'm just not gonna do it at all. I haven't decided yet. What I have decided is that we're gonna do the best that we can in the time that we have until the baby wakes up, and that should be about half an hour, 40 minutes if we're lucky. And I've got the little baby monitor right here, ready to go just in case something happens. We are starting off strong by just kind of measuring and somewhat eyeballing this blanket. I don't want it to be massive, but I want it to be a good size, so I just kind of folded the corners over and kind of just was like, that's fine. And then I just utilized the floor space. You guys, I cleaned my whole sewing studio, and I have a whole video about that. It's coming soon. It actually might be out already depending on what order I release videos. I have no idea what I'm doing these days, but I trim it all up. I try to get both layers really matchy, and I rounded the corners just to give it like a soft little baby feel. And then it was onto the embroidery machine to test out the name I'm going to put on the blanket. I always try to do a test, and it's a good thing that I did in this case because I broke a needle, you guys. This was the little trial, and it's just fine, so we're gonna go with that. I need to iron on the backing onto the fabric. I'm trying to decide if I should put the name on the checkerboard side or if I should put it on plain side, and it's too big of a decision to make right now, so I'm probably gonna make the wrong one, but I feel like the checkerboard side already has so much going on, and the white side is just plain, so I should put it on the white side? Yep, that's what we're doing. I always forget what side the iron-on backing is supposed to go face down on, so I just put a piece of felt on top of the backing so that it wouldn't like accidentally melt onto the iron, and it was a good thing that I did because I totally had it upside down. So then I just peeled it back, and I hadn't really like attached it all that much to the felt, so I was able to just flip it over and stick it on the blanket anyways. Totally a win, you guys. I'm off to a really, really great start. Everything's going so well. And we already got the broken needle fiasco out of our hair from the first time we tried to do this name on the practice felt, so we are really rolling now. And if you haven't put it together yet, the baby's name is going to be Dean. We love a Hardy boy's name. And with that, I moved on to cutting out the car seat cover. I just kind of did the same method where I just folded over the corner and then hope for the best. This fabric is really awesome because it looks really great, but it's tricky to work with because it's really wiggly. Maybe the lines are straight, maybe they're not, but we're going with it. This is where we're at. This is the blanket. This is the little cuddle car seat thingy, I don't know. And then this is the car seat cover. So from here, I'm gonna make the straps, hem up the whole car seat cover, sew the blanket together, and then sew the smaller tiny blanket together. And that should be it for like the sewing stuff, I hope. It has been a while since I've sewn anything, so we're gonna hope for the best and do our best. I ended up bringing the baby down. He's right here. You can see his little toy machine thingy. Spit up. All right. Baby spit up is the bane of my existence, but we got the situation handled and we're back to sewing. Do you guys remember earlier when I said I needed at least 3 of those blanket binding packs to go all the way around the blanket? Well, turns out I made do with just 2, so it was totally fine. I just made the border a little less ruffly than I normally would by adding a few less pin tucks into it. Pin tuck is not the right word. Ruffle? Folds? I don't even know, you guys. I am just doing the best I can with this video, but I used less than I would normally and it worked out just fine. And it doesn't even look ridiculous. It looks totally good. And obviously, in an attempt to err on the side of caution, I practiced on the little tiny blanket cuddle thingy before I did it on the big blanket, just because it's been a while since I've been sewing, you guys. Like, we're talking months since I have even used my machines, and my skills are a little bit rusty, but we got back on that horse. We are riding that bicycle. Everything is fine, and we're just whip stitching that little hole closed. All is well. Just put the baby down again. Editing Alexandria here, you guys. I told you at the beginning of this video that I was looking rough, and it does not get better. Oh my gosh, look at my hair. Look at my face. She is just in need of a shower, but I'm choosing to craft because it feeds my soul. I'll shower later. New mom life. He was not very happy to take a nap, but he needed a nap. Oh, I need a nap too. My tummy hurts. I don't know what's going on, but I'm hoping just drinking a lot of water will cure that, because I still have quite a bit of work to do. This is finished, as good as it's gonna be anyways. It's just kind of like you give it to the kid or baby or whatever in the car seat and they have like something to grab and hold on to. I don't know. My baby likes them. So we got that. And now, oh man, I really am tired. Okay, get it together. Focus. If you can just sew for like, what, half an hour? Yeah, half an hour. Oh, hold on. Is the baby even asleep yet? Oh, he's out. Okay. I'm just gonna sew checkered print blanket to the blanket that I put the name on. Right sides together, flip it inside out, stitch up the hole, and then do the car seat cover. Who have I become? This time last year I was like, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of Ariel Little Mermaid outfits, and now I'm like, baby stuff. How the turntables. I will say one thing about making baby stuff instead of doing cosplays. It takes a lot less time. One cosplay potentially could take me, a couple of weeks. A baby blanket takes me an afternoon. And I am currently not in a position where I can spend a ton of time making a whole lot of things, so little short projects are my bread and butter, and I'm honestly loving just doing something creative. I don't even care what it is, as long as I'm being somewhat creative, you guys. For the blanket, we have the ruffle on, we have the fronts and backs sewn together, and then I just whip stitched the little hole that I flipped everything inside out through. Switching back to the car seat cover, I just made some little straps, and you guys know how infuriating it is when you try to flip something inside out and you have to go get the pliers to do it. Absolutely maddening. After that, I just needed to flip up the little edges and sew them down so that like the raw edges weren't just like out there and raw and fraying and just being disgusting the entire time. Top stitched that, and then it was pretty much done. Oh wait, no, that's not it. That's not the last part. I had to figure out where the straps were actually going to go, so I went downstairs and I used my own car seat as kind of like a guide, and then I stitched those on. And I love this so much, I need to make one for my own baby because the little cover always blows off in the wind. Moving on to the little onesie. When I do these, I don't buy the infant newborn size. I buy the 0 to 3 month size because it's a little bit bigger. And I find that people have a hard time putting their infant into the onesie and taking pictures of them, because when you take a newborn home, you're just exhausted. So I do a little bit bigger size so they have a little bit longer time. Plus the weight limit for this is 7 to 12 pounds on a 0 to 3 month old. And I find that that's like the more average size is around 7. Anyways, I'm gonna write the baby's name on here, kind of like figure out what I want it to look like, and then I'll cut it out of this felt and hand stitch it onto the onesie. Simple. It does take a while though. Let's get to it. There's a math way to do this, I'm sure, but you know what? The eyeball it and hope that it works method also is just fine, so that's exactly what I did. I just kind of measured the little onesie on the piece of paper, drew out the name, and then just got to work cutting it out. All my years of learning how to do bubble letters have never paid off more than in my adult life while I'm making little thingies for other people's babies, you guys. I can proudly say that these bubble letters are the result of years of trying to have better handwriting and kind of like curate a handwriting. My mother is an absolute calligrapher when it comes to handwriting. She has beautiful handwriting, and my handwriting just looks like a construction worker. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's taken a long time to get it to look like aesthetic, and here we finally are. I make these onesies every once in a while, like when a friend or family member is having a baby. And they're super cute, and people are always like, why don't you sell those? Why don't you like, make that into your business? This is why. It takes forever. Maybe a Cricut can cut through felt, I don't know. but like, this is just a 4-letter name. Can you imagine how long it would take me if it was like Alexander? Like, and how am I supposed to fit these gigantic long names onto a tiny baby outfit? I don't know. Yeah, they are super cute, but they are time consuming. And like, they don't look like they would take all that long, but they do be taking their sweet, sweet time. And I mean, you want it to look nice. You don't want it to look like you just rushed the whole thing. I feel like a lot of times the stuff I make, if you get down to the nitty gritty, it does look a little rushed. I don't care about most of it, but I do care about these because it's going to someone. So you want it to be nice, you know? What if it becomes an heirloom? What if they save it for the next 30, 40 years? I don't know. I don't know what people do with them. The one I made for my baby, I never even put him in it, and now he doesn't fit in the onesie anymore. There's the name. Now this is the cool part. The blue marker is one of those water erasable ones, so when you spray it, the marker goes away. But for your own information, it turns out that just a little spritz of water is not enough water to get the blue to go away forever. I had to absolutely douse them in water the next day. You guys, I'm tired, but I still want to craft, so I'm gonna watch a movie in bed, and I'm gonna work on this little sweater. If I can figure out how to make the little tripod work here, I'll film it for you guys, and if not, I mean, these are just, I feel like everybody's making these sweaters right now, so it's like not even that big of a deal, right? Also, I have curly hair. I don't know if anybody knew that. It's not the super curliest in the entire world, but it does have some wave to it. My baby also has curly hair, kind of. It's in that middle ground anyways. What if I just go to sleep right now instead of, no, baby shower's in 2 days and I've got to get this finished. Moving on. There are so many tutorials for how to make these kinds of sweaters. They are all over TikTok, they're all over Instagram, and obviously there's a bunch here on YouTube, so I'm not even going to attempt to explain to you how I do this. Plus, you all know this is not a tutorial channel. However, my best tip is to just use a clipboard underneath. That way you have a hard surface to kind of like press your needle into. That way you're not accidentally sewing through both layers. Also, if you haven't made a bunch of these, I don't recommend freehanding the stitches. Just draw on the sweater and follow the lines.
The next day.
I'm gonna keep crafting in bed because I want to take a nap, but I'm like not tired, and I really need to get this finished. Baby's down for a nap. I've probably got a good 45 minutes if we're lucky. So I'm just gonna pop in a movie or a TV show and just put these little felt letters onto the onesie. Sweet, peaceful crafting time. Like I mentioned earlier, I did have to douse these felt letters in water. A little spritz was not enough to actually get the blue ink to go away completely, so I let them dry overnight, and here we are the next day, and this is just, again, me sitting in bed, watching a movie, and doing the little letters. Now, this one is a little bit different than the letters I did previously because these are felt letters and those were just stitches. What I would recommend doing is using some sort of fabric adhesive to stick the letters onto the onesie and then go ahead and stitch them on, but because I was already sitting in bed, I decided to just baste stitch the letters on, and it worked just fine. The little red thread that you can see in the middle of the letters, those are the basting stitches. They are not permanent. I'll pull them out once I'm done stitching the letters on permanently, but just to let you know, that's what that is. And then I just do a really easy running stitch around the outside of the letters, and I make sure it's filled all the way in, and then I get the inside of the letters as well. Once all the stitching is complete, I just clip the little red threads and then I pull them right out. Surprise, I also made some little crochet booties, but this was not part of the video just because I'm not gonna sit here and like make you guys watch me crochet. I had to make these a bunch of times to get them to even match, so these are the best 2 that I had. And that's pretty much it. Like, those are all the little things that I made for the little baby shower gift. And then I decided to wrap it up in a color coordinating swaddle, and I proceeded to just tie it like a straight up hobo bindle. It looked ridiculous. Like, this is mine, and this is an actual hobo bindle. Are you kidding me right now? It looks terrible. And so Chris decided that he was going to make it look nicer. And to his credit, he did work hard on making this like look better, but it still looked like a hobo bag. And that's on me for wrapping it in a swaddle in the first place.
I don't know.
No, it's perfect. It's totally fine. Well, that's it. That's the whole video. I do have one more thing that I'm gonna make, and she doesn't know about this yet, but it's just this little hat. I need to iron it and then just stitch the name on the front of it. I also got a couple for my little guy because he loves to go outside, but he doesn't like the sun being in his eyes, which is fair. Who likes that? Not me. I don't really have any news regarding anything else other than I did start putting oil in my hair, and I've noticed a huge difference in how thick it is and how long it is like growing. So that's awesome. I'm just doing science to get my hair to not be so thin and wispy. I'm basically Smeagol. If you have not subscribed yet, now's your time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, unless you really don't want to. I mean, like, that's your prerogative, but you are missing out on all of this. There are definitely going to be more small crafting videos on the way soon, just depending on like when I can get them in. Let me know if there's something that you'd like to see me craft, even though we all know I don't really take suggestions. In this house we craft in pajamas. That's the video. We're done.
We all need donuts, boy.
I'm ready for a donut, a donut. Mama make a donut, a donut.